Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Wales of Wall Street. Hope you're doing fantastically well. I'm going to keep this one fairly short because I do want to try and get a live video done today with you guys. Many topics. I wonder what we will discuss on that one. So crazy few weeks has been occurring, but bringing this down to earth with Stellar Org on this video. We're going to try in a second, but we've got Danielle Dixon here from the 11th of November, a few days ago, just discussing really about the utility aspect of tokenization, but also how they're trying to, or perceive trying to, improve the world in certain aspects. Now, this is kind of touched home with me because for me, blockchain is a great opportunity for us to improve the world, improve people's well-being, diversity, and everything that we can possibly try and do, provided it's in the right hands, right? And Stellar, of course, Jed, founder, who came from Ripple many years ago, created Stellar Org, and over this time it's of course developed and progressed as it has done in front of our eyes. Of course, yeah, they have some applications towards things like CBDCs, but they have a lot of narrative in the last year or two, I would say, to really encourage a new ethos towards utilizing Stellar to improve the world. So let's just have a quick listen to Danielle on this mini video.
Gotta build products that people need and want to solve problems that they actually have. And when we look at this network and we look at this ecosystem, we are all working together to do something good. We talk about at SDF using blockchain, using Stellar for good. It doesn't mean that you all have to have the same mission. But the thing is, we're solving problems. We're solving real world problems that people have in all of these different geographies across the world. That's what it means to use this technology for good. We are helping to solve financial access. Even if that is not the mission of your company, that is what we are doing with this technology.
Now, I think that's pretty cool. Great speaking there by Danielle there. It's obviously a very powerful professional and experience in doing that. So as I said, for me, they are having this ambition to change things. Now, of course, like every project, every technology and company wants to make money and profit, right? Of course they do. But in this grand scheme of things, the feeling you get from the likes of Stellar, XLM, in terms of its tokenomics, in terms of its tokenization, how it's utilizing the technology moving forward, is to try and improve the world's systems, especially as you mentioned there about the aspect of payments. Now, of course, there's big issues for many decades about cross-border payments, the fees that are associated with this, exchange rates. All of this could arguably be eradicated, or at least become almost feeless, albeit IOTA does boast feeless transactions in the future. Stellar will have this big process and ability to help initiate that. And I think that's a really important point, to be honest. As an investor and someone that's been following Stellar for a few years now, I'm sure many of you out there have been following it even longer than I have. This is where they are trying to succeed. And she makes a good point as well about each project has its own different mission, its own different avenue. Some are technologically different utilities, but Stellar tries to do a lot of different things in its portfolio, right? And I absolutely love what they come out with over the last sort of 6 to 12 months, especially with the hiring that they've done. They put really strategic people in place to take care of specific areas of the business. And this is what you'd expect in any other real world business. I say real world, of course this is real world, but what I mean is like outside of crypto. I always differentiate the two still a bit strangely. But for me, this is the real good motion and opportunity. It's like when we talked about Zimfin over the last couple of days, adding people like from the background of security and printing money, but also the aspect of tokenization and CBDCs, right? You have to put these people in place, and it shows initiative. It shows the direction of which the company and the organization is going. So, we're talking about storage of money, utility, payments across the world with no borders, no issues. This is a big thing for the world, and it will increase the economy. It will increase people's opportunity and prosperity, hopefully, especially as we come out of the recession. This really builds up nicely for like 2025 onwards, in my opinion. We'll have to see how this progresses continuously, of course, moving forward. Of course, ISO compliance and things like this have to kick in properly as well, the new RTGS system. But my goodness, like for me, Stellar XLM is one of the top projects out there, and it's definitely something that I would consider as like one of the top 5 in terms of the financial sectors and the financial aspirations to world improvement. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that, really. So I'm going to keep this short. Let's jump into the chart, because Stellar hasn't really moved significantly over the last few months, right? And this means there's a good opportunity to understand and realize some stabilization that's been going on with this project and asset, right? So we've had a bit of a come down, obviously, like the rest of the market, really, because of this FTX nonsense going on. Of course, it naturally dragged everything down, Bitcoin pairings and all these kind of things. However, my point still stands with XLM. I generally always stand by this point. Anything under 50 cents for XLM in the longevity is huge. It's cheap. It is a massive opportunity for future massive gains, in my opinion. XLM is going to be one of the top dogs in crypto assets, and also just in general for blockchain technology moving forward, right? So for me right now, to see this under 10 cents is an absolute phenomenal steal. I have been buying XLM at all sorts of different prices. I'm not going to lie. I DCA on the way up and on the way down. My goal is to accumulate, and of course I want to accumulate as cheap as possible, but you never know where these bottoms and these highs are. So you have to do this in a strategic way, hence the DCA, dollar cost averaging approach. It sounds boring and repetitive, but this is one of the safest ways and risk-free ways to do it. If you've got a goal for longevity in your investment, which you should hopefully have, and you've done the research on the project, it's almost partially irrelevant, other than the fact that you play the game in the sense, for me personally, it's trying to accumulate at various different areas, because I don't know where this is going. It's a powerful top project, a lot of value in it, and a lot of holders in it. It's not going anywhere, guys. It could for sure come down to potential lower regions. We'll have to see how Bitcoin performs and how all this exchange situation is going on. But you can see here, over the last couple of months, irrespective of every other token, been going down significantly, right? And yes, XLM has been going down significantly since at least December last year, but not as crazy as many of the others have. There is a lot of room for improvement. Look on the right hand side here. To the year and the year to date, there is still a good 70-75% upward ability. Now, if we come down lower, of course, that number can increase, but the fundamental principle is that we are in very lower regions of XLM. As I said, could still come down. We've got some target areas even that I'm putting in at just above things like 5 cents. Even in the old videos that we've done on XLM, I can't remember the last one we did, maybe a month or 2 ago, I had these buy orders in. They've been floating around this area, which is why I've been doing manual purchases on this. But I still have a buy order, and I did point this out, by the way, guys, a while back. I didn't know FTX and all this was going to happen, obviously, but I did anticipate the trend to be coming down to these areas at some point. It's obviously been accelerated. Sometimes that happens, whether you want to call it manipulation or whatever it might be out there. Whatever it is, you have to go by data. And the data historically was showing that this is an area that we need to get tested properly based on the previous videos that we showed, even all the way back to 2019 and 2020, the longevity of this project. We need to configure the support and resistance mechanisms at this moment in time. So for me, why have I put these lower fib retracement levels in is because they all match up with back down here, and there's a partial anticipation in my head that we could potentially come back to these lower regions if the market wants to. So that's why we have to play the game of DCAing, to say that I'm not going to chuck all my money in right now, but I'm certainly going to buy some now because it's a really good buy point. But the anticipation that we could come down lower. If we come higher, great, we're making money, right? But I can't see a humongous rise up to say something like 20 cents in the next couple of months unless something drastic happens and the fairies come out of the clouds or something, who knows? But this is where we are with it. And I'm very strongly passionate about this project and asset that you can see, even obviously with the FTX sell-off here, this is always going to happen with all the assets. But in general, over a long period of time over this last year, the volumes have been very much mirrored in both buying and selling. Yes, it's been dropping down overall, but it's a matching principle, which suggests, as I said, there's a lot of confidence and trust in this project and a lot of holders in general for many years. I wish I was in earlier than I was, but I got in late 2019 and early 2020, especially in that March drop that we had in 2020. That was brilliant. And XLM was one that was identified through a number of YouTube channels and things like this, especially like Cheeky Crypto when I first watched them. And I understood and I researched more about blockchain. I did the diploma in cryptography and blockchain as well. And the more I understood about it, the more I could associate XLM and Stellar with what they're trying to achieve. And of course, you have to go through the marketing aspect and what they're trying to narrate to you. Of course, that's a principle of it. And you believe in those aspects based on that sometimes. But if you look in the fundamental factors of XLM and Stellar, even with our intro videos, for example, you'll see there is humongous opportunity with this project and technology in the years to come. So guys, that's very exciting to me. The RSI's quick last point here, 14 days showing 34 and 28 days showing 38. Obviously not as low as it was a couple of days ago, but still in a very, very fruition position, in my opinion. This means in general for the longevity of XLM, there's great opportunity to accumulate at these lower areas, build that portfolio up so that when we have the turnaround, whether it's in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, I don't really care. My role in myself is to accumulate as much as possible of Stellar XLM. I was dreaming last year about, oh, I wish I got more when it was lower and I knew about it earlier. Well, here are the positions. Now let's put our actions instead of words. This is what I mean. A lot of people do this, and then the hype market is, oh, I wish I bought more. And it comes down to these areas. And we're in an unfortunate position where we can't afford to do it because of the world is a mess, or we don't do it because we're waiting around for something magical to happen. And I've learned that the long way and the hard way. I wouldn't call it the hard way. It's just an experience and something you miss out on or you take advantage of, right? And I, for one, am taking advantage of this area. So do your research, guys, more importantly than anything other than I'm saying or any other channel. It's very important. I'm showing you my buying positions. They've been working all year and all the last few years for sure on any asset right now. People didn't believe me way back when I was saying this was all going to come down to these lower regions. They laugh at you, but at some point they have to, because we have to go on data and history. So hopefully that's a bit of an eye-opener, guys, a bit of a thought process. Think about it. Look into XLM Stellar if you're new to it, but for sure understand that it's going to be a top project moving forward. Guys, I'm going to wrap that up there. I'm going to prepare some dinner and I'm going to get on the live shows hopefully in a few hours time. Thank you so much for watching, as you do with all the other videos and all the comments. Please do drop your comments below because they are massively appreciated and I answer every single one of them. And one of the last points, of course, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. But we will see you very soon in an XLM Stellar update. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.